Hi again, it's Stephanie, and I wanted to focus a little bit more about safety and ways we can make our home safe. I know we've touched on it a bit, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth. So this week we're going to talk about ways we can make our home safer. So the first step is decluttering, and I know we've talked about that quite a bit too, but I wanted to talk about a method of going about decluttering and why it's helpful. So first, it can help reduce agitation. Sometimes having a lot around the house is very stimulating. It's overly stimulating. So we want to take some of that down. And also when we declutter, it helps lower fall risks. So one thing you want to do, kind of step one when you're thinking about what to declutter, is thinking about the things that your loved one gets comfort from or gravitates towards or that's familiar to them. Those are things we want to keep. We want them to have those creature comforts like we all enjoy. So when you are thinking about what to remove, a good barometer is if your loved one hasn't interacted with that item in a month or so, then that might be a good thing to declutter and move somewhere else. The other tip is to remove a few things at a time. So instead of just kind of taking a whole room by storm, just trying to do a few things at a time, putting them somewhere else, and then once you gather enough, you can put it in boxes and put it away. That way it's not so alarming and hopefully not very noticeable. You can even put things away in an attic if you're not sure if your loved one will miss them or want an item, and that way you can kind of gauge and still have it close by in case you need some of those items. Another tip for home safety is using light against dark. And so when someone has a memory disorder, there are some vision changes. So depth can be more challenging, seeing certain objects. And so one way we can help with that is using light against dark. And so for instance, if your walls are light colored, using dark colored handrails, dark colored door thresholds. If door thresholds are something that you notice your loved one tripping on, and if the dark color or the opposing color doesn't work, you can always remove them as well. So think of light and dark. That can even be helpful when eating. If you're using a light colored plate, using dark colored utensils or things like that. So that can be a really helpful tool. The other thing we can do is think of lighting. So using anti-glare light bulbs or dimmers to help kind of tone down the light and make it not so harsh. One thing that you might find when it comes to home safety is that your loved one might not be able to find all of the rooms in the home or be confused about directions. So there are some things we can do to help. One thing we can do is use reflective tape in hallways or near doors, especially at night, so that you can really kind of see where you're going. So that could be really helpful. Another thing is you can always use signage. So signs can be really helpful. You can use them on doors to say what the room is. You can use them on cabinets or on refrigerators. You can even tell what's in those drawers or in the cabinets. You can use words to describe what's in them. You can use pictures. So those are ways to help foster independence as well. So instead of your loved one having to ask you, where are my socks? You have a picture of socks in the sock drawer. So those are ways to really allow our loved ones to do as much as they can on their own. The other thing when it comes to signs is using signs to alert someone that they shouldn't be in that room. So stop signs can be really helpful if there's a room or a door you don't want them using, for instance, the front door. So sometimes stop signs are a helpful tool. You can also use a dark colored mat or rug by the front door because of the changes in vision. That depth perception might be off and it might look like a hole. And so that might also prevent someone from leaving the front door if you're nervous about them eloping. So those are all things that we can help as far as signage goes. And just some other general things around the house is seats with arms are really helpful in, making it easier to sit and stand, as well as taping down cords in the home. So we really want to try and reduce as many trip hazards as possible. So taping down loose cords that we all have from all of our electronics, making sure that if you do have rugs that the edges are down, whether that means using that kind of sticky tape, all of those things can really help because those are things we all trip on. And imagine if our vision's changing or we're not, really as perceptive. So those are all things that hopefully can help around the house. And in videos after this, I'll definitely spend a little bit more time talking about ways to be safe in specific rooms of the house. The kitchen is a really big one. So we'll kind of break it down because it really is so important, and it can help hopefully diminish some agitation and some future issues. And safety is always our number one priority. So if you have any tips that I didn't mention or that you found successful in keeping your home safe, please feel free to comment down below. And as always, if you have any videos that you'd like me to make or any topics or behaviors you'd like me to discuss, I'm always willing to do that. So just feel free to comment below. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye.